Okay, good evening, all brilliant chess players. Thank you for joining in to the session. I'm Anito. I'm going to be your coach. We're gonna cover the stalemate combinations. So I just wanna share my screen to my notes. Let's go there. 5 minutes. Can anyone just indicate if you can see my screen?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. So stalemate combinations. I call it a quiet stalemate because it's quiet, still, quiet. But let's see the definition of stalemate. So I had some theory and concepts about it. So stalemate is a special type of a draw. It occurs in a situation where the player or the opponent can't move and is not in check. So according to the chess rules, it's a stalemate and the game ends with a draw. So if you can't move, if it's your turn to move and you can't move, you don't have any legal moves, then you can't sit there on your board and wait for better days. The game needs to go on. The game needs to end somewhere. And if it's your turn and your king doesn't have a legal move, you can't do anything. So that's why it's gonna. They said it's a stalemate and it's a draw. So what we gonna what so stalemate can be an important defensive resource when you defending a hopeless position. So if you think about like if I played some games I played and I was so into the game and I was busy winning, I was on the winning side and I'm playing on my best and suddenly stalemate. I don't know how many people have experienced that. I experienced a couple of times. But yes, and sometimes in a position where you play and you didn't even you just thought, oh, I'm losing this guy. I'm just gonna throw my king over, and then suddenly stalemate. But if you look at if you're in a tournament play and you play, and what would be better if I go home with a oh I want leaving the game with a loss, or I fought back and get a draw out of the game, out of a hopeless position, I getting a draw out of the game. I think it's better to realign your emotions or your output and think of I'm losing, but I'm gonna fight to get something out of it, and that's what we're gonna do. That's just what we're gonna look at: how to sharpen your eye on opponents' stalemate ideas and how to create a stalemate. So we're gonna look at a certain a few um, topics. We're gonna look at stalemate and stalemate in the end game, decoying or luring, if you will. We're gonna look at a desperado rooks. We're gonna see what's that all about, and we're gonna look at various stalemate constructions. So I just pulled out a few some examples. We're probably not gonna go through them all, but just to get you some idea, also have the um, link also here if you want to look at a study on a later stage. So I'm gonna stop sharing this screen. I'm gonna move over to my leeches. I don't know where it is now. Something happened. Let me just check something out. Sorry guys for this. Just trying to find my leeches. Okay, let's just go back. I found it. Okay, so we have this first example. Okay, so I want you guys to look at this position. So if you look at this position, um, who is in a worse state? Would you say? Is there anyone who can? Is it white or is it black? Is there anyone, if you guys can hear me, just say something. I just don't want to talk. I don't want to talk alone. I need you guys to interact also.
I would
For the
maybe say that white is doing better with that outside pass pawn being a bit advanced, maybe. It also depends on whose move it is.
okay. In this case, it's white's move. But okay, it's white's move in this one, in this regard. But now, just imagine you are black. Okay, well, how would you feel in this position? Would you give up or would you fight? Do you think there's still a lot of fight in you?
I'd probably be hoping for some sort of perpetual check on the king. Stalemate wouldn't be coming to my mind too much.
So that's the whole reason for this coaching session. It's where sometimes you feel so hopeless because you don't have enough pawns, you don't have enough pieces, you don't have enough this or position or chance. But there's always a fighting chance. You must always think of what can I do? I can still fight. Right? You must change when you in a trouble state. You must change your mindset and go to a survival mode. How can I still benefit out of this game? Um, my opponent is not going to benefit alone. He's going to work for it, and I'm going to give him that work. So in this position, um, white played uh, queen e7 check. Okay. So in this position, where would the king go? What good move would you suggest for the king, for the black king? Oh, anyone? Oh, do I need to pick on people just to give me some answers? Don't be afraid, people. We're here for the learning. It's any answer is a good answer. Is not answering is where you go wrong.
Probably king h6 feels the most natural to me.
Yeah, because you don't want to. If you're gonna go backwards, it's gonna be you're gonna be stuck in this position here. You know, you're gonna be stuck in this rail here, which is not gonna be very good because remember the white opponent, the white player has a passport on the A file. Okay, so that was the move. King h6, but then Queen said, okay, look, I'm gonna clean out. I'm gonna take Queen takes f6, and then what would you play as black if you in this position? Sometimes time trouble also plays a bit of a huge psychological advantage for the next person. But sometimes you must just take your calmness, think rationally, and take your time, but in trouble time. But what would you play as black?
Yeah, it's not so obvious to find a move. Like it feels like the king is always escaping my checks with those two pawns there.
Yeah, but in this case, black just played a check, queen h3 check. So white did not spot the danger of a stalemate and played the next move. What did what would you guys think? What was the wrong move for white? Maybe you can guess. So white played a wrong move. Okay, what would white should have played? What would you if you were white? Let's switch the tables. If you were white, what would you play? You uncheck where would you go?
King e2 probably.
Yeah, king e2 would be. Oh, king e2. Okay, go back. Queen e2. Yeah, that would be actually better because there's no open checks right now for the king. But unfortunately, maybe it's time pressure was on the horizon, and and White just played that move, king g1. That is actually a bad move. What would you guys think of that? What's your thoughts on that? Is he it could be time travel, but are you seeing the surprise element? What would Black plays a brilliant move in this next move? Could anyone spot it? Remember we're talking about stalemate, so I need you guys to focus on what is the stalemate. You guys probably know it's a stalemate. If you guys don't know, I'll show you now in this if somebody gives me the right move. Guys, don't be shy. Going once, going twice. Michael, you still struggling?
No, I think I have the answer.
Oh,
I
let me
think
see in the chat. Yes, there's a chat. Let me see in the chat. Yeah, okay. On the chat, it was said Queen G4, and that is a brilliant move. Yes. Thank you for Kado. If I'm saying it right, if I don't not saying it right, apologies for that. So this is the best move. What does this move do? So White must either take G4 and stalemate his opponent, or he must give up the A4 pawn. So there is no way to avoid the draw. So if he takes it, right, then there's no possible moves for Black to play now. He can't play here because it's check. Okay, he can't move there, and surely he can't move here. And yeah, so to this in it's a stalemate. So that leads to a draw. I mean, it's so if there's only a few pieces left on the board, if the king and pawns are unable to move, then you must pay particularly attention to a stalemate combination. So this is a stalemate combination. So Black saw like a few moves ahead. He can maybe get away with a stalemate, and he was successful in that. But if White was playing correctly, would have gone, you know, a bit sideways. But it's just some things you need to keep account on how things move. Okay, so let's check on our next uh, example. Okay, so White was not paying significant attention to here at this position. He is carelessly just depriving the Black King of all his available squares. So, but White played a mistake here. So normally, most of the if like now more of this examples. So somebody has to make a mistake to win, but you mustn't always count on a mistake. You need to calculate the mistakes also, but also look at the good moves. But okay, but White played a mistake here. He played knight e4. What would have been a better move for White? Can anybody maybe suggest a better move for white instead of knight e4? Like I always say, look at the environment of a king. You know, look at the environment of a king. So if you know the extensions where the king can go everywhere, then you can make his world smaller. So you would see, okay, this is would have been a better move um, for my pieces because the king is in the middle. Should give you some indication of a much better move than uh, knight e4. Maybe I must look at the chat. Nothing in the chat. You guys, you're free to give the answer on the chat also. You're welcome to. I have my eye on it now.
Something like knight d3 and then maybe centralizing the king with king d4 is tempting.
Yes. So knight d3 check would have been a correct move. So knight d3 would have been a much better move just to keep him in. But you don't want this king to move into your backward pawn here. It would just be very very painful because his pawns is advanced at that time. But let's just explore. Or how about king d3? King d3, like I said, if you play here, this will happen, and you don't wanna leave that unprotected, because this pawn is already um, the bishop is already um, how do you say it, like protecting the pawn. You don't wanna
He
give
is
you don't
attacking
wanna.
the rook though
Yeah.
with king d3, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's also, yeah. I was sorry for that. Yeah, it's also attacking the rook, but now, but this is the idea. If black wants to get in here so that he can march his pawns down, but just be careful where you move in the end game because one step is a bit, a bit dangerous if you understand what I'm trying to say. But in this position, you must know that this white king is doing a job here. He's keeping that king away, but still trying to move upwards because he wants to get here or wants to promote this pawn because this pawn is heading to promotion. Okay, so but let's explore the mistake here of white. Uh, Knight e4. So what would if you were black right now? What would you do? What would black do? A brilliant move by black. It leads to him to immediately to a draw. Okay, so let me see the chat. Rook takes d4. Takes d4. Oh, you mean actually rook takes c4? Oh, yeah. Rook takes c4. It's the brilliant because white bishop has no good uh, treatments retreat squares, and if it takes the black rook, then black is stalemate. Can you guys see it? So took the pawn, right? If he takes here, let's see the environment of the king. He can't move here, can't move here, can't move here, can't move here, can't move here. That, and he has no other pieces to move. He has only because all the pawns are locked here, and there's no legal moves for the king to move in because the knight is covering that squares, you know, and this pawn is covering here. I'm making a lot of lines, people, but yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a broad um, idea of the king is trapped and he has nowhere to go, and that was Black's idea the whole time. Just to he saw he was in a lost position, but how can he win this game? How can he go uh, and win something? So um, he was thinking about he was capitalizing on White's mistake, and he saw my area of movement was limited. So let me, and I'm safe actually where I'm standing. So let me cut off all my squares, and it's got to stalemate. So it's often necessary to decoy the opposing pieces into specific squares in order to engineer a stalemate. So he actually lured that bishop away, um, that bishop away, so that he can just have his turn, but he couldn't move anyway. But let's look at another example. Okay, so in this position, White as a last move was um, Rook D1, and Black did not see the trap, and the player played uh, Bishop D7 to H3. On the king side, only the bishop on E1 can move. This problem is soon disposed of. So what would you guys think? What did White what did White do? What would you do if you were White? If you were White, what would you do? Let me see in the chat. See, there's nobody saying anything in the chat. Oh, well, you guys can take a chance. It's fine. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just the learning from it. Sorry. If you were White, what would you do? So look at this. Look at this area here. I'm actually in huge trouble. I'm White. I'm in huge trouble, and one move is a checkmate. But how can I? What can I do to turn this game into a stalemate or into a draw? Anything in the chat, guys? You are welcome to use the chat. Okay, I'm just gonna give you a hint. In a game like this, maybe you must look at a forcing a stalemate. Maybe that will give you some idea. Let's force a stalemate. Remember, if all your pieces are tied up in your king con has no legal moves, then it's stalemate. So how can you force a stalemate in this position? Okay, we have something here on the chat. Queen goes to G2. Okay, goes to G2. Queen goes to G. You you are White. You white has to play here, so you are white. No, not black. You're not black in this scenario. You are white. So I need a move for white. It's quite interesting if you look at stalemate combinations, because sometimes you don't think about stalemates as a tool, or something to use to get out of a troubling situation. Okay, yeah, Carbo is saying, I think I will have to give up the white, what is it, white rook, WR, and, and B, the bishop. I think so. So it will be stalemate. Queen, let's see, Q, R, and B. Okay. So what would you say? You will give up your queen, right? And your rook. But I need a move. You must give me a move. I just need one move. Think about forcing you. You want to force a stalemate, because this is hot now. Yeah, this is burning right here. It's burning. And this is your death sentence here if you don't do something. So what can you do? Don't look at this. Look at the entire board, the whole board. What can you do to force a stalemate?
Can I give an answer?
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure.
Okay, so I believe we want to play rook takes d8 because it's the only move that comes with check and doesn't get us checkmated.
Hmm. Okay. And that was played. Brilliant move. Brilliant suggestion. We're forcing something. Okay. Now let's check. Black has to respond, but he can only respond by taking the rook back. So what? So what is next? So
Mm.
the black queen is, yeah, okay.
No, at first when I was thinking through this, I wanted to find a way to give up the bishop like the one guy in the chat suggested, but then I found you couldn't really give up the bishop. So then my idea was to go queen d1, and then if he takes the queen, my bishop's pinned and it's stalemate.
Yeah, that is the what is this piece doing? He's lowering this queen away from that square, and it's by using check. He's checking the king. So which, if black king moves away, then, or blocks or whatever, then this queen falls, giving white still a fighting chance. But if he takes it, which he does, and it leads to a stalemate, because um, there's no legal moves or any moves where white can move or the king can move itself. So I need you guys. So this is actually very, very cool. Actually, I need you guys to think of terms of that. What can I do? I'm in survival mode. I need to fight. I need to get out of this predicament. Let's look at another. Maybe after this one, the next one probably gonna be easy for you guys. Let's look at it. Okay. So in this position, uh, so what would white play in this position? Any good moves for white? look, guys, where's your target? Your target is here. You're still playing to checkmate the. Sorry, my internet is a little bit foggy. Okay, this is your target here, guys. You're still playing to checkmate the king. But look at this now. You have this problem. We have an advanced pawn on the second rank, and the king is like blocking this pawn. But you also have other troubling pawn on the third rank on your H file that's BME wants to promote. So, what would you do? Okay, I will give an answer. Oh, is that okay with you guys? Must I give an answer? Or you guys still want a minute to look at this puzzle? Clue first before answer. Okay. Actually gave you some leading points. Actually, I gave you. I'm saying the king can't move because of this king. This king is pinned to this pawn because if he moves, there's gonna be promotion. So you can't have any help from the king right now. But this is a very this is your problem here. This pawn is like looking here. He's looking at this winning post here. He's gonna go and promote. But what do you have that you can use to what would you use? You have something there, but you also must look at you're looking at the problem, yes. But look what you have. You have a pawn here, also on the seventh ring on your G file, and you have and this pawn is covering that squares, which means there's some you need to say, okay, I'm seeing something. And here's the answer. Let me see, rook d3. Rook d3, yes, that would have been the most. Um, Rook d3 would have been an excellent move. Would be but it would be an excellent move. But now what you close. Now I don't think it's going to be a good move because you close, but this will happen. You close to get a good answer. You're very close. It's hard. Just think about a little bit further. You're on the right track. You're on the right track. Okay, rook d2. You now you now you're just guessing. Okay, which is fine, which is fine. But look further than just that one move. Go beyond. Go beyond your move. You have this problem here. How would you solve this problem? And okay, maybe you can threat. You can maybe threaten a checkmate. How's that? Maybe I can maybe that's also a good clue for you.
Hi, can I say it
Yeah.
instead of typing it?
Okay.
Okay,
No
so
problem.
so my idea is you're talking about the h3 pawn being a threat, right? So if I play d3, it goes to h2, and
Yes.
then I take the rook to h3, and then if he promotes on h1, I capture the promoted queen, so to speak, and then I'm threatening a checkmate on h1 too.
Yes.
So
Yes.
and yeah, and
Okay.
his
Okay.
rook does not have a check because it's blocked by his pawn. So
Yes. Yes. Yes.
no.
But the move I wanted you to find is actually rook rook d4, which means I want you guys to think about maybe advancing your rook here still doing the same job, but you're keeping your rook more active instead of bring your rook downwards here, but keeping that sharp eye here and still threatening this. You know, just a much. I think that is actually much more of a better move for my point. I don't know. You guys can maybe explore this in a later stage after the session. Okay, but let's see what happened. But White played a move. Um, Rook d3, which they say is actually a bad move. Black is now demonstrating a typical defense based on stalemate, but why? But Black has a good move. Okay, so what would you say? What would Black do in a situation like this? What would Black do? Okay, I'm gonna give you the guys the answer. Or do you guys want a what would be the good move? Okay, we switching the script. We Black again now. So we're Black now. What would Black do? You in this trouble. This is very bad for you. So what would you're gonna try to save this game by doing what? In this, okay, I'm just gonna give you just to progress with the time because Coach Takudzwa was also want to present also. So Black played Rook B8. It's a very good move. Looking downwards to that, and because he's thinking of check. But let's look further. The king takes c2, and another brilliant move goes to. Can somebody tell me the better move for Black? Okay, there's no answer. So Black said, okay, I'm gonna move forward with h2, very good move, and rook and rook h3, but then Black said, look, I'm just gonna go on and queen, promoting h1 to queen. The rook has to take it, h1, and then rook b2 check. Also a very good move. What will happen now? The king will take, and then uh, there's no other moves for Black. So this is an activity of a desperado rook. This is showcasing that White cannot take the so White can't actually take that rook, right? Account to the stalemate, and it's following the king all over the board. So the rook will just follow the king everywhere, just checking. Hey, take me. He's going to be all in the king's face just to have that leverage. And it's going to be endless of sacrifices up to this. So sometimes the stalemating is construction, what you guys need to set up, but look at the environment of a king. Look at all your pieces. My pieces all tied up. So how can I enforce um, a checkmate? Not checkmate, but stalemate. Um, is Coach Takudzwa? Are you here?
Yes, Anito, I'm here.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna give you over to Coach Takudzwa. She's gonna go with you guys through some drills, some exercises. She's gonna challenge you what you actually learned this far. Um, So I'm gonna stop sharing. Coach Takudzwa, you can take over now. Thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you, Anito. Okay, so I'm now sharing my screen. Can you guys see it?
Yes, we can see your screen. Coach, just hide the moves just to have it more a bit
Oh,
of a more
okay.
challenge for everybody. Thank you.
Okay, so the first one is a very easy one. So first, what we need to do is to determine like who is losing here, because the person who is losing is the one who would want to stalemate, to get into a stalemate, because they are at a disadvantage. So first we need to determine who is losing here. Who do you guys think is losing, white or black?
I'd presume black is the one hoping for stalemate.
Yes, black is the one hoping for stalemate, because white has got so many pawns and he's got a queen. So black is the one who's hoping for a stalemate. So now what we need to do is to find like the stalemate position. As Coach Anito was saying, the stalemate happens when the king doesn't have any legal moves. So already we can see that the king here is limited. If there's only one legal sway. So we need to find a way to stalemate the black king. So you guys can give me your suggestions. Anyone?
Coach Takudzwa, I think there's a response on the chat.
Oh, okay. From Karabo. So Karabo said that Bishop E6. Bishop E6. Or maybe you meant Bishop C6, ne? Bishop C6. Yes, Bishop C6, and then Queen takes Bishop, Rook to G1, check, and this check is forced, right? Because the white king can't go anywhere, so the white king is forced to capture. Then now it is black's turn to play, and there are no more legal moves for the black king. Well done, Karabo. This was a good try first time. So let's go to the next one. So in this position, first we need to determine who do you think is losing? Who would want to have a stalemate here? Who is better, white or black?
I presume white is wanting stalemate since black has 3 extra pawns.
Yes, exactly. White is the one who's wishing for a stalemate because white is in the losing position. And here we already see that there are some clues here. The white king only got like one legal sway. This fourth rank is being controlled by the rook. The white king can't really go anywhere, and there's 3 pawns in front of him. He can't really do anything. So can you guys tell me how white can try to force a stalemate here? Any ideas? Okay, let me just give the answer then, and then we'll move on to the next one. So here, first we can try to look for the forcing moves, and one of the forcing moves is rook to e8. Check. There's nothing else. There's nothing much that the black king can. The black king can go anywhere. So this is like more like forced. Black is forced to take the rook. Then after black takes the rook, we only have one more piece to give away so that the king can be left alone and there can be a chance for stalemate, and it's the knight. And the only way to do a forcing move is to do a check. So knight goes to e7 check. Then if the king moves away, then we still give another check. And black is forced to take, because if he doesn't take, let's just say if he goes back to g7, we'll keep on giving the checks until it's a draw. So here, if black takes, then white doesn't have any more legal moves and it's a stalemate. So quickly move on to the next one. So in this example, first, which player do you guys think is hoping for a stalemate? Who do you guys think is losing here? You see white has got a queen, a rook, and some pawns. Black has got queen, rook, a knight, and some pawns. Who do you guys think is losing here? And you're hoping for a stalemate.
I would say white.
Yes, exactly. White is the one hoping for a stalemate because anytime from now, black is threatening mate here. Queen to g2 is mate, queen to h2 is mate, and there's nothing that white can really do to stop this mate. So white is actually hoping for a draw. A draw is like the best result from this. So now the next move is to look for forcing moves. The next step is to look for forcing moves. And we already see that most of white pieces, they can't move. The only pieces that can move right now is the rook and the queen. Okay, so can you guys like share with me your ideas? How do you think white can force a stalemate? Can try to force a stalemate? Anyone? Maybe something in the chat. Oh, Karabo is suggesting rook takes g7. And then you're saying if king takes g7, then queen g8. Then if king takes g8, then it's stalemate, right? But what if after rook takes g7 and then black decides to take with the queen? Now white still got his queen here. What will we do now if white if black decides to take with the queen and not with the king? Queen f6. If we go queen f6, and what if black closes the check with the knight?
I think in this position, if you're white, you still need to force it, not try to maneuver or win, but to know that you need to. Your plan is to have a stalemate, and you must stick to your plan. So I think that's just a little bit of small for you guys.
Yes, and also by moving the knight, now this pawn also can move. Now, like we are far from stalemate now. It was better when the knight was blocking the pawn, then at least only the king was supposed to move. But now if the knight moves away like this, it's not going to be stalemate as quickly as we want, because this pawn can still move. So yeah, Karabo, you did try, but then I think you were close. But then we need something else that is more forcing than a rook takes g7. Come on, guys, there's no wrong answer. Queen h8. Queen to h8.
Hi, can I just, I think queen h8, and then if the king captures the queen, then I can play the rook, and at least I'm on the, oh wait, no. Okay, it doesn't work because there's a checkmate on h2. Okay, it doesn't work. Okay.
Yes, black can make that right.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, there's another comment in the chat. Yes, queen, yes, exactly. Queen g8, Tatenda. Thank you. Queen G8 is the correct move here. Because after a Queen G8 check, if the king captures, then we have got this rook check. And black doesn't want to capture with the queen because it's gonna be yeah, if black captures with the queen, it's gonna be stalemate. If he captures the rook with the king, it's gonna be stalemate. So black is forced to run away. Then after black runs away, then that's when we've got that case of the desperate piece. Now all white has to do is to follow the king until the king takes the minute the king takes, then it's gonna be stalemate for white. And anyway, white doesn't have any other legal move except to play the rook. So even if the king goes there, the rook is going to keep on checking the king and checking the king and checking the king until forever. Let's do another one. Let's read this one. Okay, so the first thing, this one is a little bit more clear. We can see that black has got a better position and more pieces than white. So in this case, white is the one who's actually hoping for a stalemate. So what do you guys think white can do to get a stalemate, to get a draw? Anyone? Okay. For the sake of time, let me just give the answer. So white's first move is gonna be rook takes pawn. And then if the rook comes there, then the king wants to get himself in a stalemate net. So the only square that it's got like limited moves is this one, f3. So if king goes to f3 and the rook takes, then it's gonna be stalemate. Okay. Okay, let's just do like one last example. In this position, I think it's clear also who is wishing for a stalemate here. Obviously, white is the one who's wishing for a stalemate because he's got like less pieces. This one is a little bit interesting. So, you guys, can you tell me what can white do to try and force a stalemate? Okay, let me just give the answer because lesson is ending now. So white is gonna play bishop e3, which is gonna be his first forcing move. Obviously the black's response is going to be to take, and then white is gonna also give up his queen, so that to put his king in a stalemate net. You can see now that the king doesn't have any legal moves. And then the last move is gonna be pawn to a5 to stop pawn to a5, so that there's no more legal moves for white. And then this is like a forcing move. Black is forced to react to the check. And then the minute that he reacts to the check, it's gonna be white's turn to play, and white doesn't have any legal moves. So I think I'm gonna end here. I'm gonna give the floor over to Anito if you still have something to add or any comments.
Thank you, Coach Takudzwa. Thank you everybody to come out and come enjoy the study with us. We appreciate the support. I'm hoping to see you guys for a next session. And there's also a Thursday session that's an advanced class. You're welcome to join it. I'll post again on all the platforms. And guys, just the one lesson from me: don't stop fighting. Keep on the good fight. Even though you're down, you can still win. Thank you, guys. I'm just putting in this chat the lead chess study. If you want to look through it, you're welcome to do so. Thank you, everybody, for coming out.
Yeah, thank you for the sessions, coaches.
Thank you.
Thank you, coach.
Thank you everyone for coming.
Okay, have a good evening, everyone.
All right.